Imagine losing your husband in an accident, only to discover he'd been cheating, had 2 secret children, and left you with in-laws who wanted custody of your daughters. Now imagine those same in-laws rallying their church against you with lies. Well, I wasn't about to let them win. And let's just say the truth hit harder than a sermon. If you've ever dreamed of exposing someone who lied about you, hit that like button and subscribe, because this is one of the most jaw-dropping revenge stories you'll hear today. My ex-in-laws tried to drag me through the mud, but I had the perfect way to turn their entire church against them. When my ex-husband died in an accident, I thought the worst part would be explaining it to my daughters, 17 and 15. What I didn't expect was just how much uglier things would get. You see, his death didn't erase the damage he'd done while alive. He'd cheated on me, repeatedly. And not only that, but his affair produced 2 sons who were left motherless when his mistress also died. And that's when my ex-in-laws stepped in. Instead of focusing on healing, they turned on my daughters and me. They demanded custody of my girls. They wanted to move into my home. And when I said no, the attacks began. It was supposed to be a fun day. My youngest's birthday. I gave her a budget at the weekend farmer's market and let her run wild on sweets and chocolates. But an hour later, my phone rang. Her voice shook with tears. "Mom, some women won't let me leave." My oldest and I sprinted to the crowd until we saw it. 6 older women surrounded my daughter, berating her. They called her unchristian for refusing to spend time with her grandparents. They scolded her for not wanting to play big sister to her poor orphan brothers. My daughter's hands clutched her shopping bag like a lifeline, her eyes red with tears. And in that moment, my blood boiled. I stepped between her and the women. My voice cut through their accusations like a blade. "My daughter owes you nothing. Step away." But they only turned on me, told me I was a bad Christian wife for disobeying my in-laws, that I was selfish, godless, cruel. By the time we were forced to leave the market, I could feel their eyes on my back like vultures. My girl sat silent in the car, trembling, and I knew this wasn't just gossip. This was a campaign. That night, I logged onto Facebook, and my jaw dropped. My ex-mother-in-law had posted a tear-stained sob story to her church group. According to her, my daughters and I were monsters. We'd abandoned her and her husband, left them penniless and homeless. We'd stolen their grandsons. And worst of all, we were cold, heartless, and unchristian. But here's the twist. This church, they were obsessed with purity. Cheating was their biggest sin. And somehow, my mother-in-law had managed to twist the affair into a surrogacy story. She claimed the mistress wasn't an affair partner at all, but a surrogate helping me because I couldn't have more children. And then she painted me as a villain who cruelly rejected the baby boys for being boys. I felt my stomach turn. The manipulation, the lies, and worst of all, people were buying it. That night, I lay awake replaying everything. The women cornering my daughter, the Facebook lies, the letters calling my girls bastards, and then the rage crystallized into something sharp, cold, focused. I wasn't just going to defend myself. I was going to obliterate their entire narrative. You see, I still had everything. Because when my ex died, our divorce wasn't finalized. That meant I had 0 legal consequences for sharing the evidence I collected. Photos of him kissing his mistress in our living room. Texts between them, making plans behind my back. Messages from his parents admitting they knew and supported him. Emails where they bullied my daughters, calling them bastards and blaming them for their father's death. I wanted it all to be undeniable. So I went to a print shop, paid extra for glossy, high-quality copies. Then I spent hours crafting personalized binders, beautifully organized, neat, disguised to look like church in packets. And on the very first page, a photo of my ex and his mistress making out, captioned ex's name and affair partner's name, a love story. It was art. Sunday morning, I walked into the church. My heart pounded as I slipped the binders into the back table with the hymnals. No one checked. No one questioned. By the time the service ended, the gossip had already begun. People flipped pages. Eyes widened. Gasps echoed. The story unraveled in their hands. Photo after photo, text after text, Proof stacked on proof. Within hours, the Facebook group exploded. The language they used for my ex and his mistress was so harsh the pastor had to intervene just to tone things down. And my in-laws? They were suddenly the villains. Members confronted them about their cruelty toward my daughters, their hypocrisy, their lies. Apologies trickled in. Letters arrived at my house, letters addressed to my daughters. Some church members begged for forgiveness. Some invited us to return, promising support. But the best part? My ex-in-laws have been shamed right out of their beloved church. Their once loyal congregation turned its back. And in one final pity post, my ex-mother-in-law whined on Facebook about being abandoned, about how no one cared for the elderly anymore, about how only her great son would have supported her. Never mind that he had no money and no morals. Justice wasn't loud. It wasn't violent. But it was devastating. The moment of triumph wasn't just in exposing their lies. It was watching the very community they had weaponized turn against them. The same church ladies who scolded my daughter were now whispering about my in-laws behind their backs. For once, the bullies had no shield, no sympathy, just shame. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't yelling or fighting. It's letting the truth shine so bright that lies shrivel in the light. My daughters deserve peace. And thanks to a few hymn book binders, they finally got it. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and subscribe for more Reddit revenge tales. And tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen? Until next time, remember, the truth is always the best weapon.